Hey folks, I got a great video today for those of you looking to get started playing Last Oasis. Now, before I jump into it, if you guys find this video helpful, please consider dropping a like and maybe leave a comment on something I didn't touch on that you wish you knew. Furthermore, if you want to continue to support my channel, a very simple and easy way to do that is subscribing. All you have to do is click that red button below and I will be eternally grateful. Now for the 5 tips to help you get started in Last Oasis. One of the first things I tell people who ask for advice is to learn how to use your grappling hook well. This piece of equipment is essential to creating space and getting you out of some bad situations. But you aren't going to be able to use it if you're out of stamina. So try and recognize the situation before it gets too late. It's also not easy to use. It takes practice. Don't get discouraged, because once you become proficient at grappling, your survivability increases exponentially. So kicks are actually a thing. I didn't know this for my first couple of days, embarrassingly enough, and I wish I had, because I got into a lot of fights where I obviously could have used that. People are blocking me and just being annoying. I'm sure some of you figured this out accidentally, or maybe you're one of those responsible people that looks at the controls before they really play the game. The default was like mouse 4 or 5, which is one of the side mouse buttons. I found that a bit strange, but to be honest, it's what I would have bound it to anyways. Coming back to using kicks, they are an extremely good way to open up a fight. They break the guard of the enemy player and can allow a free opening hit with a fast enough weapon. Be aware they won't do any damage though, and you have to be kind of on top of the enemy for it to work. But once you start getting the timing down, you will become a very frustrating person to deal with in combat. Now, I think one of the biggest tips for new players is explaining how the walker you're using is sometimes what people use to decide to attack you. For example, a spider or a firefly doesn't hold a lot, so some people won't bother. Not true for everyone, but some people ignore you. However, a stiletto or a toboggan looks very juicy to PvP players, and if you are solo on top of it, or don't have the equipment to effectively defend your vessel, good luck. The more experience you have in the survival genre, the more obvious this is going to be, I believe, but I still think it's worth mentioning. Sometimes the top level weapon or armor piece you can craft isn't what you should craft. The higher gear gets, the more and more rare materials they use, and those rare materials are used for other things as well, such as crafting stations and other much needed equipment. Figure out your priority and make a game plan to achieve it. Raw bone axes and other weapons can be dropped at Rupu camps, so sometimes it's easier to just grab a beat stick and farm a few camps for a drop before moving forward if materials are scarce. The last tip I have for you guys is to travel with expendable equipment as much as possible. If you have played survival games before, I'm sure you have heard this one, but in games like this, you need to be prepared to die a lot. The sooner you accept that and plan accordingly, the better off you'll be. It's not as bad as some games, but if you aren't careful, you may find yourself pretty much back at square one. Last Oasis is a beautiful yet savage game, and the more help you get, the better off you'll be. In my experience, karma really tends to come around in this game, so once you become established, don't be one of those guys ganking solos and starting players. That's not a good look. And you never know if that guy's going to come back with a vengeance. Some people can really hold a grudge. I hope you guys have found this video helpful. I also do live streaming on Twitch. The link's in the description. Please consider dropping by and saying hello at some point. Stay safe out there.